What it do, what it do, what it do. It is your boy, Andrew Show, aka Mr. Goody Two
Recording
Shoes.
in progress.
What it do, what it do, what it do. It is your boy, Andrew Schultz, aka Mr. Goody Two Shoes. And who am I with? You already know. It's Joseph Huggins, aka Man Huggie, episode 57. Welcome, you motherfuckers.
That was so good. That was so good. Hold on, I gotta adjust this. That was so good. What's up, man? How are you?
Never been better. How are you?
You know what? Yesterday made me feel better. I didn't tell you about this. Ate it on my bike cycling the other day and fucked my knee up. It wasn't my fault. It wasn't anything super crazy. Everyone gives me shit and they're like, ooh, you need to be careful. I wasn't doing anything crazy, but there was like this little patch of water that appeared kind of in this neighborhood, and I had to take the shitty left turn. There was like a car behind me. When I took the turn, it was just like, bro, if I would have gotten hurt, I feel like I could sue these people because it was just like water running from their property that was like making the street like super slick. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So I was like, I could sue these motherfuckers, but I took it like a G, hopped up, had to ride the other 15 miles back home. I was bleeding all over the place. So it's dude, it's like I got these two gnarly like road rashes on my knees, like right on me. So I was going like not too fast, but when I went down, like my knee hit first, and I didn't get fucked up too bad. It's just my knee got really scraped, but it's like gnarly. Like if you saw it, you'd be like, that's disgusting. So that's been my day for the past. It's like I was all day Saturday, Sunday, and then I could wear shorts. I had to wear jeans. I have to wear pants and shit to work. So dude, yesterday was brutal. Like I feel like an old man, dude. I'm an old fucking man, dude.
Oh man, Huggy,
Seriously.
living up to that rep.
Jesus Christ.
My ex-girlfriend, her dad is a cyclist.
Yeah.
And Vato has been in 3 fucking like catastrophic accidents when I was dating her for the 7 years, like where he's hospitalized, broken hip. He got hit by a car one time. Hit by a car.
I got hit by a car. I got hit. Yeah.
And the girl who hit him, like, swerved into like the side of the street and tried to like hang herself in her car, like while like right afterwards, like it was all like
what?
Yeah. And then he was riding around on a $20,000 bike and it wasn't insured. It's like, okay, like, you know, you're going to buy a car for like 15 G's and you're going to insure the shit out of it.
Yeah, $20,000 like cycling bike, like a distance cycle. Yeah, man, that shit's wild. When I got hit, I was riding like basically, I was riding on the sidewalk. This was in Austin. I was going to work and I shit you not, some old lady, her name was Bessie, was coming the other direction, and I was like not doing anything, going on like a 2-way road. She was trying to turn off onto a side street and just whipped to try to beat traffic and just wasn't paying attention. So if it would have been a person, she would have ran them over, but she launched me a good like 15 feet in the air, destroyed my bike. I mean, I took her to court, so I got a settlement out of it. That sucked for her, but yeah, that shit sucked. I had to do therapy for like 10 months or some crap, dude.
Jesus Christ.
So, but this was totally like not that bad. I've had like, that was probably the worst crash. I also got hit one time by this guy doing a illegal U-turn in Denver in front of Union Station, but I ride like a fixed gear, so my bike doesn't have, for those of you who don't know, it doesn't have gears. It's like a single speed, so I can just pedal constantly. It's like pretty difficult, but it's like also like super hipster, I guess. But for city commuting, it's great. But in the suburbs, it's like, it's goofy because I'm hauling ass. And there's these guys on their $20,000 bikes, and I fly by on them with like a bike with no gears. But I was riding down by Union Station. This guy in this little shitty Scion, a Lyft driver, decided to do a U-turn in front of me, and he cut me off. And when he did, because he stopped in the middle of the road, in the middle of the bike lane, so I tried to go around him, and then he busted a U-turn, and I turned with him and just kind of like bunny hopped and leaned into the side of his car and put this huge dent in the side of his car. I had like a pretty gnarly bruise on my shoulder, but that guy's car was like mega fucked up, and I was really nice to him. He was super freaked out. And I was like, nah, man, like, I'm okay, but like, you gotta be careful, dude. What the fuck? I was like, I really fucked your car up. He was like, I don't care. I'm so sorry. Da da da. And I was like, all right, like, take off, man. I didn't. But
See,
yeah, you gotta be careful. Like, you have to be aware of your surroundings. Assume people don't see you. If it's like leisure, it's not that big of a deal. But like, I mean, it takes me less than an hour and a half to ride like 25 miles on my bike. So I'm like moving like the whole time essentially. So I have to be very aware, or someone's not going to see me and they're going to hit me, or they're going to cut me off, or try to off themselves. And that's wild, dude. That's like some chance shit. That makes me, what type of karma do you have to have coming your way to be recycling and hit like that, you know?
yeah. I mean, and then there's all those electric scooters that are out here in LA,
Oh man, I've seen people eat
which,
shit on those. So bad.
yeah, like in the beginning of 2020, like when the pandemic was kicking off, the emergency room was filling up out here in LA, not because of COVID, because of fools on their fucking scooters who were getting hit by cars. And it's gotten so bad, like where I was just talking to somebody like 2 days ago, where a scooter hits their car and they're like, fuck. And they're like about to get out of the car to like, like, shit, like what just happened? And then the person on the scooter is just like, as quick as possible, like getting the fuck out of there. it's
Yeah.
like,
Oh
it's
yeah.
like, it's like so common to like get hit by a car, like they don't even want to deal with it.
Dude, those things are so incredibly dangerous. Like when I was living in Austin, when I was living in Denver, I mean, I've seen people go down so hard. People that have no business standing on something, and they'll be wearing like sandals. It's always some dick in sandals. So if he has to stop or slow down, they're like stepping on the street like barefoot. Like just thinking about it makes me cringe. And people trying to like jump them off stairs. Yeah, I mean, I've seen people take like on a T-turn or something downtown, like a blind turn, just whip around it and like lay it down, and you're fully exposed, man. Most people aren't wearing like a biker's uniform and like biker gear to sit there and like slide the fuck across the street, I fucked
Yeah,
up. I was in shorts. It's hot as fuck. It's summer, oh my god, it sucks.
not to make it more depressing, but my friend, her son, on his birthday, was in Austin, Texas, on one of those scooters, uh, and he ate shit, hit his head, uh, got up, like it was like went back to his Airbnb, and didn't wake up, and was in a coma.
Oh yeah, man. Yeah, you gotta be
It's
careful.
like
That's why
it's
when
real.
you get a concussion. So I got a real bad concussion when old Bessie hit me, and she was driving a Champagne Honda CRV. So it's a pretty boxy car. It was pretty beefy. I mean, she fucked my bike up. Like she destroyed my bike. I had dislocated pelvis, and I was like rotated crooked, so like my right leg was shorter than my left leg, so they had to like pop it all back. It fucking sucked. I mean, now the electrosound therapy and stuff was fantastic, especially like there towards the end. But even afterwards, it took me probably 3 months to get used to like riding my bike like that again, because I wasn't doing anything. It was this time it sucked. And what's really funny is somebody saw me, like, so somebody out there in like the South Lake Grapevine area like saw me eat shit riding my bike and like lay my bike down. I handled it like a G, and then they slowed down to see if I was okay, and I just popped up. It was just like, what's up? They're like, are you okay? I was like, fuck yeah, let's go. And I just got on my bike and rode off.
That's like me. That's like me on a skateboard. Like one
Yeah,
time,
I
I was like
literally,
skateboarding to McDonald's at like 4 a.m.
yeah.
and I was just like taking this hill,
Yeah, I mean, you're
and then
talking
it was
like,
just boom, and then there's like one person on the street. They're like, like, did this person just die? I was like, I'm good. I'm good. I don't know if I'm actually good, but I'm good.
yeah, well, I was like, at that point, I was like, fuck, I'm stuck. Like, I have to get home.
Yeah.
So then still had to ride. And then somebody called me later. And man, I was moving. My adrenaline was like, I was like all the fuck over it. But then someone called me for work or something, and I ignored it. And they're like, hey, I need to talk to you. Da, da, da. And I just sent them a picture of like my bloody ass leg. And like, here I was like, I'm riding my bike. Leave me alone. They're like, Jesus Christ. But now my leg's all super fucked up, so it doesn't hurt. Like I'm lucky I didn't like shatter my kneecap or something, but I took it like a G. But man, it was just leaky and gross, and it's on my knee. It's like all my whole knee, the whole top of my knee, and my knee was bent because I was riding and I was turning left, so I laid it down that way. So my knee was like the first thing that hit the street.
You're not going to show it to the people right now?
No, I mean I'll post a picture of it later. It's gross, man. I've got a couple. Like I watched the Birds game at home. Shout out Birds. Talk about it tomorrow. But yeah, fuck Cowboys. Even though y'all won, fuck you. But and I didn't go. I was like, it hurt to walk around or move. So I sent her a picture of it because I was like, I felt like she didn't believe me, and it was like me icing it. It looked so gross. She was like, "Good Lord, please keep that thing clean." I was like, "No, like it actually hurts. It's better now." But it doesn't. It's not. The swelling's gone down, but it'll probably be like 2 weeks before this thing's
All right. So for the audio audience out
gnarly.
there, first of all, shout out Lebanon and shout out Finland, because I don't think we shouted them out yet. Those are the latest two countries
True.
listening. Yeah, so that's fucking dope. Like Lebanon, that's like one of the places like on my bucket list I want to go to. That's like a multicultural, like liberal-esque like
Yeah, they
place
don't
in the
be
Middle East.
diplomat or something, dude.
Yeah, like shout out Spy Game with Brad Pitt. He goes to Lebanon. It's dope. Um, but yeah, so
Such a
that's
good
very
movie.
cool. But for those who are just listening, Joseph, why are you wearing like some blue collar work shirt?
Oh,
Like,
no, bro. Okay, so no. Shout out Little Guy Movers. So it's funny. I was talking to some of those guys. I used to work for this moving company, Little Guy Movers, back in the day. Essentially, when I got out of jail, I got arrested and got out of jail it wasn't anything crazy, unfortunately. Not like a cool reason or anything like that. But when I got out, I was working at the shitty call center, and then so this is a wild story, and this is how life is nuts. So this is like my old boss Eric's shirt. It was a template shirt that they never used, but I got the job because I was working at this shitty call center that I could walk to from my garbage ass apartment, and all my roommates had moved out. I was living in Denton, Texas by myself. Denton's not my favorite place. And I was like trapped in this apartment, and I lost my car. I had to sell it to get out of jail. So I was pretty much stuck, and like it was really shitty. And I decided to quit that crappy call center job because it was just wild. Those are stories for another episode. Some of the shit I saw, and I left, took a nap, and then I was like, all right, I'm gonna go buy some weed with like the last $60 I have. I'm gonna go buy a bunch of weed. I'm gonna go buy some beer, and I'm gonna buy like a pack of Rillos. I'm gonna smoke a blunt, and I'm just gonna drink this beer, and I'm gonna figure out what I'm gonna do. And this is before I moved to Austin, so I mean, shit was dark. Your boy was down bad. And I walked to the gas station to go get this shit. And when I'm across the way from this like really skinny, like wiry looking fucking dude who's wearing this Little Guy Mover shirt, and he's buying like 2 boxes, like huge boxes of blunts. And I'm buying like a case of Heineken, a pack of Rillos, and like something else, maybe some like Camel Crush or something shitty like that. And
shitty.
Well, in retrospect, actually, no. I think they were probably still.
Man, don't come at my brand like that.
No, they were probably still Camel Special Lights, but those
are shitty.
Those were legit. Fuck you. They replaced them with number 9s. Number 9s are shit. But anyways, so this dude, we started talking because we were both buying grape, and I never meet strangers, and I was like, damn, dude, that's a lot of blunts. Like it was enough to where it was like I audibly said something, and the counters are across, and he's like, yeah. These are my favorite, da-da-da. And we were walking back the same way, and he lived in the same apartment complex as me. And this dude, his name's James, was like, hey, dude, he just had a kid. And he's like, my wife's taking a nap with the kid, and I'm basically not allowed to, like, be inside, and I can't smoke inside. And she's on me about, like, drinking too much when she's taking naps. I'll smoke a couple blunts with you if you give me a couple of those beers. And I was like, yeah, fuck yeah, dude, let's go. Like I spent my last $60. Like I'm down hard. I ain't got shit to do today. So I went and smoked a couple blunts with this dude, and then he set me up with, he was like, man, you should come in and apply for this job. And then I had that job for 2.5 years, something like that.
Crazy.
And then even when I moved to Austin, I mean, shout out. So this is Eric's shirt. They've got all these prototypes. Eric is this huge dude. They're all Cowboys fans, so I'm kind of wearing it to troll him because he hates this fucking shirt because they gave it to him, but he's way too big to wear it, and it wouldn't fit anybody in the store. So I was like, well, I'm just gonna take it. But it's like a nice fucking shirt. Like it's a one-off. And now there's little guys in like Kansas, Arizona, Colorado. Like they're everywhere. There was only like 3 or 4 stores when I worked for them. But they listened to the pods. So I thought I'd wear it. Because they reached out and they were like, hey, man, like the pods are good. And, shout out Corey James and them. They were like, dude, it's awesome listening to y'all's shit. So I just thought I'd wear my...
Are they going to give us a cut? Like, I
Maybe,
mean,
dude. Hey, man,
is
dude. I
is
would.
this a sponsorship deal? I need to get in on this.
That's what I'm shooting for, dude. Like,
Right.
you know,
Shoot
like,
your shot. Shoot your
yeah,
shot
like
on it.
JD, you know, JD, Wooly, all you guys, like, you know, throw some money or something. I've thought about trying to open up a little guys franchise, dude. They blow the fuck up, man. I'm telling you.
Shit. All right, y'all. So,
Moving weight.
as we do, episode 57, we started off with therapy questions. The first therapy question was put in here by Mr. Joseph Huggins himself. He might have had some help with a special lady friend. I don't know.
No, that was this
I was
something
cruising
came
through
up on.
Malibu. Okay. All right. Well, you want to start us off then?
Yeah, I was just wondering, and it can evolve into other stuff. But I mean, I guess I did have some help, but I was trying to come up with something, and I'm like, what? I was like, I can't think of anything, and I was like, I wonder if Andy thinks he could beat Mel Gibson in a fight. So, do you, Mr. Goody, think that you could beat up Mel Gibson in a fight?
110%. I would whoop the shit out of Melly Gibson real fucking quick. Melly Gibson?
Dude,
What is he?
he's
Melly Gibson?
nuts, dude. He's fucking
yeah,
nuts. Well, now he's super old,
nuts.
so now
he's
it's
Australian. I get it. I get it. I was just cruising by Moon Shadows in Malibu where he got arrested literally like 30 minutes ago. You know,
he got arrested 30 minutes ago, or you drove by?
No,
it
I was driving by Moon Shadows.
I was like, oh shit.
That's why we're like 30 minutes late on the podcast.
Yeah.
It was because I had to cruise through Malibu. You know, it's like, you know, there's Moon Shadows where Melly Gibson got, you know, anti-Semitic and like sexist. You know, he's like called the cop sugar tits. You know,
yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, which time did he get when he was misogynistic?
I mean, I think he's anti-Semitic.
See, oh no, as fuck.
In general,
I think that Mel Gibson is like gonna be nuts, man. I don't know. I don't think it's possible.
All right, let's rephrase
like
it.
Peak Mel Gibson? No way. No, peak Mel Gibson. No way.
We're not talking Lethal Weapon 1 or 2, like where he's like ready to go.
Do you think you could take Patriot Mel Gibson? That's a more seasoned. I don't know, man.
I think I could take Braveheart Mel Gibson.
That's bold. That's a bold statement.
Hey, you want your freedom, you Scottish fuck? Well, welcome. Here's the Irish.
I wonder how Mel Gibson felt about the Queen's passing.
I don't know.
I'm sure it's
he probably like jerked off to like the last picture she took or something. I don't know what he's into. A better question is, would you, not whether you can beat Mel Gibson in a fight, but would you get into a fight with Mel Gibson? Period. Win, lose, or draw.
Like I just see him and it's
like
on, it's on
like
site.
for the story.
Maybe.
I feel like you have if Mel Gibson wants to fight you,
yeah,
you have to take that fight.
Okay, I think that's doable. So if it's like a scenario where I'm at like a Checkers and for some reason Mel Gibson's there and for some reason I'm at
what the fuck is a Checkers?
It's like a shitty, I don't know, like burger place. I was just picking some random things. All right, I'm at an A&W.
We have an audience.
I'm just picking random
You're
fucking
picking
places.
like obscure ass.
I'm like, all right, I'm at a Hardee's with Mike Lindell. And he just got his phone taken.
Carl's for you Californians.
Yeah, and then Mel Gibson walks the fuck in, starts talking shit to me, and pushes me like he initiates the fight.
Yeah.
I'd fight Mel Gibson 100%. I mean, I'd probably fight any celebrity if they initiated the contact and tried to fight me. I'd be like, let's go, bro. Like
The Rock pushes you? You're
fighting me? Oh, absolutely. The most getting pushed by the most electrifying man in sports entertainment? Get out of here.
Well, you know,
absolutely.
We'll get it.
That's almost like a privilege.
We'll get into it like on the third therapy question, but what if you can't smell what The Rock is cooking?
I'd be like, I'd beg him to call me a jabroni, and like I'd call him a jabroni, and then, or he would call me one, and then I'd call him one back, and then he'd punch me. I'd be fine with that because you get paid. Mel Gibson, I mean, any of them.
Yeah.
They wanted to fight you, and they started it. You'd have to fight them.
Yeah, but okay, real quick, Joey Bag of Donuts. You jabroni, you buster. Don't think that I'm gonna go fight Melly Gibson before you, like as if it's a warm up. I'm going to the cage match with you, Joe Rogan.
You know,
that's right. I'll say his last name because I want him to know I'm calling his ass out.
We need to just go down to Austin when they're like,
now he lives out here.
Oh,
The Iron Ape cleans his pool.
Well, doesn't he also have a place in Texas? He has a place in Austin.
He got a place. He had a place in Austin for tax purposes, but he still kept his place in California.
Oh,
I'm saying I don't know your address because the Iron Ape is not disclosing that because he's a professional. However, if I needed to find it out, I could find it out.
well, okay. I'm just saying we need to create a scenario where you come across him and you challenge him to a cage match.
I already did challenge him. How many countries need to hear that he's challenged to a fucking cage match? Lebanon.
Yeah, Lebanon's
Lebanon. Let's do it like the Thriller in Manila where they go to Africa. Let's fucking go, dude.
Let's get it on in Lebanon. Let's go, bro. That's absurd, but I'd be for it. I'm playing, playing the war horn. The war horn sound. I have this war horn that's so loud.
There probably will be bomb sirens going off. It's fucking Lebanon, dude. You know, it's Beirut.
Yeah, no, that's right. That's why I'm like, damn, that's such an awesome country to pick up and interesting. I wonder like what that person's on, where they're just like, you know, getting to talk shit. They're riding the wave. We appreciate it.
It's like really multicultural. It's like one of the only Middle East countries where it's like you have Catholics, Jews, Muslim, and they're all like in the government, and they all yeah. So it's, you know, it's like a bastion of hope, even though it's like kind of run by you know, the dudes like Hezbollah, you know, they're in there, and then the Saudis kidnapped their prime minister like 2 years ago.
Yeah, the Saudis.
They're like, you can't go home.
The like, Saudis do the craziest shit, man. The Saudis trip me out.
They really do.
The weirdest shit.
Can't wait till they start listening.
Oh yeah. Oh dude, that'll be.
They'll start cutting some people's ears off or something.
Yeah, seriously.
All right. Therapy question number 2. I'll lead us off, or I'll just let the audience know what the question is. You can tell us the first answer. Therapy question number 2. What would your life look like if you were born 50 years before your time? Now, if I'm doing the math correctly, that means Joseph and I would have been born in 1937.
It would have been awful. For me, it would have been a lot worse.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Yeah, so I mean that's why when I read that question, I laughed my ass off.
I actually like, kind of did think about that, but then I like thought about what the exact moment in history this would be. So we would basically be like teenagers as soon as World War II was over. Because
my dad is, well, you know, shout out to the OG old man Huggie. I mean, you'd be like five years older than my dad. So like what I would say is from the conversations that I've had with my dad, who, you know, gradually.
Okay, can you clarify for the audience?
My dad.
You're adopted. Like your dad doesn't have the same plight as you do.
No, no, definitely. Like so, I'm
a black guy and his dad's white.
Yeah, I'm adopted. But my dad in age is seen. Whenever we talk about it, he's seen so much stuff throughout time. To say that, you know, like he used to sit down and listen to the radio with his decoder ring and trying to like mail off box tops to get shit, you know, like a secret decoder whistle or some bullshit in the mail, to, you know, he's got some crazy ass big screen like TV in his pool room, you know, like he's just seen like from hand crank telephones, you know, sock hops and shit like that, because he turns 80 sooner than later. You know, he's almost to that. He's almost 80, so he's seen a lot. So you'd be what, like 85 or something like that if it was like 50 years earlier. So we'd be like 85, and I'd be like, my dad's seen a lot of shit, so he's super wise. I'm almost envious because he's seen so much growth throughout time. Like, you know, from, like I said, sitting down in front of the radio, like old timey, listening to Batman stories on the radio and like, you know, watching Adam West as Batman and that being the coolest thing you've ever seen, you know, and that was like college shit, you know, he rode the fun wave for sure, you know, early 30s, mid 30s, late 40s, and like the 80s and 90s, early 90s. I mean, he was crushing it.
Yeah. I mean, and that, like, you know, adjacent to the topic is like, you said, you know, your dad has lived that long and he's like super, super wise. Well, you know, people are like, oh, Biden's too old. It's like, Okay, first of all, Biden's getting a lot of shit done. I don't know if you noticed, but it's the reason why he's getting so much shit done is because he's been around for so long. Like it's because he's wise. Like other cultures, like realize it's like I think Bill Maher said it. It was like you get less cute and more wise. As you get older, and like people respect their elders in other cultures, but here it's like we like I think it's like some stupid percentage, like 40% of people think there should be an age limit, not like on the low end, like where it's like you have to be 35 to be president, but like there should be like a cap. If like you're over
Yeah,
70, you can't be president. It's like you're an idiot.
it,
You're an idiot.
but I think now I have thought about this. Like when I drive to work, worst fucking drivers in the world. So if you do get old, if you do get worse as a driver as you get older, once you reach a certain age, the baby boomers are going to be like the most dangerous thing to ever touch an American road with a car in like the next 15 years. Like the roads are going to be war zones. Everyone's going to be going 35 because there's going to be a shit ton of them. They're going to be slowing everything
we'll
down.
have autonomous cars by then, so we're good.
Let's hope if they know how to use them.
Or high-speed rail or something.
Yeah, maybe.
I remember when we had to take the keys from my grandpa. He was like fucking 90, and he just like scraped his like fatty ass Cadillac on the brick, like to where you have to like type in the code to get into my gate.
Yeah,
and they're like, okay, I think it's over for you, Gramps. Like I feel like that it's gonna be a shitty moment, hopefully we live that long to where we have grandkids like taking our keys away because they're too old.
Yeah,
I mean that sounds like a good problem, but I think I would be fine with it. Like, okay, well, you guys have to take
yeah, and you gotta drive me everywhere.
Yeah,
that's
exactly.
like what I'm banking on is like then
a lot of people like a lot of people get like butthurt about it. They're like, I can still do it.
Who are you to tell me I can't do what I've done? I've been driving longer than you've been alive, little Timmy. My name's Greg, Grandpa, and give me the fucking keys. But it's true. That's definitely true. But I mean, I think that even if I was adopted and had the same, like, my dad, like it was my upbringing was something similar to what it was now, it would still be more difficult for me than it was 100%. Before. So it wouldn't have mattered. If anything, it would have been more hard because I would have been like with a white family. Because I remember whenever you
couldn't even vote.
Oh yeah, no, I would have been around to see myself get the ability to vote,
right?
Which would probably be a very powerful time. But with my mouth and how I am as a person, put me back 50 years old, I would have gotten in trouble, dude.
It looks like Emmett Till type shit.
I would have just gotten myself in trouble because I would have been outspoken. I think if you take me exactly as I am, because I probably wouldn't be the same. I would have been raised differently, how I would have acted or communicated with people. I would have been raised a different way regardless, to be more cautious in general, So that would have been shitty for me. You would be like some cigarette mogul and make a bunch of money and lie to the FDA for forever, and then
it'd be like some Mad Men shit.
Like your great grandkid will run for like South Carolina Senate or something, and you'll go drink, fucking.
Well, we never would have had Lindsey Graham. Then.
Lipton iced tea, but sun tea. So you make it in the window while you go play golf with the Koch brothers. Well, one and the ghost of the other Koch brother now, but y'all were friends when they were all alive. That probably would be your life or something along those lines.
Yeah, for sure. A lot of misogyny.
Yeah, I mean, you just would have been that would have been interesting.
Yeah, I'd probably be a Republican.
My dad was a Republican for forever. I mean, he works in refining and big oil, so it was pretty much not a choice. And like whatever in like the 80s, it's like, oh yeah, I'm pro environment, Conoco. Let's go build a refinery in Wyoming. They'd be like, what the fuck did you just say?
I mean, I was just fortunate enough. Like my dad, grew up in the streets, grew up poor. However, even when he started making money, he just had like a really good outlook on like political leaning, where he's like, am I gonna have to pay more taxes if the Democrat is in office? Maybe, probably, but I'm fortunate enough to do that and afford it, and so he never looked at it like, oh fuck, I pay more taxes.
Oh yeah, no, I don't think
so. Like, so my dad was just, he just looked at it in a different light than like a lot of people. Like I've got friends who like make over $400,000 who vote for Trump not because they like Trump. They're like, I just don't want to pay more. Like I don't want Biden to raise my the tax bracket like that I'm in. I'm like, okay, you know what? You're making so much money. Just who cares? Like there's bigger shit to.
Yeah, no, I mean, and like for what my dad, even what my dad did, because my dad's like a huge. He's definitely not a Republican anymore, and I think that his kids had something to do with that.
Well, yeah, and the Republican Party. He didn't change. The Republican Party
Well,
changed.
yeah, no, definitely. It just doesn't make sense to him. But you got to think. I mean, adopting like a young black boy with your mixed family and like literally living in Cheyenne, Wyoming, in like the late '80s is pretty wild to think about because I mean, we wouldn't fit in now, let alone like
Back then.
91. Like, get out of here. People would be
And
like,
then
"What the hell?"
think about like John McCain also adopted. He adopted like a Vietnamese, I think, daughter, but she was black. I don't know, like something like she was definitely of color.
Yeah,
Um,
I mean, and
but when he was running for president against George W. Bush in 2000, George W. Bush's campaign ran a smear campaign and said that he cheated on his wife and had like a secret love child, and he actually adopted it. And it's like that's how low these fuckers will go, dude. Like, and that's like supposed to be,
man, that
the
was a
normal
huge. That
Republicans.
was it. We didn't realize it, but when we were kids and there was that like Gore Bush whole debacle, that was like a huge turning point in politics. So we didn't even realize it that we were witnessing.
I did.
Well, yeah, but I'm just saying, in like the ripple effect. Like I don't think anybody could have seen this coming from that. But I don't
Could
think
you
we.
imagine it? Could you imagine if Trump was, the one running? Sorry.
Yeah, you all right? Oh yeah, I mean it's just yeah.
Yeah, it's like Al Gore
I think Al Gore would have beat Donald Trump.
actually won. Well, Al Gore actually won the fucking election. He won the popular vote. Probably won in Florida. The Supreme Court told him to stop counting votes, and he, for the good of the country, was like conceded the election. And then Donald Trump loses by 8 million fucking votes
Yeah.
and like multiple electoral college votes, and he still to this day hasn't conceded. It's like, what are we doing?
Yeah.
All right, therapy question number 3, y'all. What would be a worse fate? Losing your sight, your hearing, or your taste?
Probably for me, it'd be like hearing. Maybe I love music so much that it'd be hard. Like, music is very, very powerful. So, like, if you cut that medium out, that'd be tough. I guess you could still feel the vibrations and stuff, but sight's good too. Taste, meh. If I lost my
I,
taste, I'm like, it's okay, like whatever.
oh, okay, yeah. See, this is how they get me like on these like financial exams, because I was thinking taste would be the one that would be good to go out of like sight, hearing, taste. It's like if I could still hear and see,
Yeah, well, you could take
but I
my.
can't taste. Like,
Yeah,
okay, so get taste the fuck out of here. So sight or hearing, which one would be worse?
I think they're.
Worse.
I think they're equal, man. I think it's like pick your poison.
I think sight would be really bad, dude.
Sight would be tough, but I mean, hearing would
Like
be
it
as
would
well.
suck. It would suck to, yeah. Of course, it would be bad, either or. But not being able to see what you're doing, like even if you can't hear, you could still like discern what's going on.
Yeah, like for what you could see, I think you'd have more, like like Daredevil. He can't see, but he can hear, and he's got the echolocation. I think you could hear stuff better. I don't know. I'd say, and like I said, music, man, music's so good.
I know.
Like to take music out of the equation would be real powerful for me. Like that'd be tough.
I'm not even kidding. So my parents had surround sound speakers that were like in the ceiling, like 4 of them.
Yeah.
Because my dad just like really was really into that, but you like regretted every second of it because I would just be bumping shit like in the speakers were in the ceiling, and their bedroom was right above that ceiling. But this is like when we're adults, which is like when they moved back to California.
Yeah.
However, they go out of town. I'm like 19. Brady's still in high school. Invites everybody from the high school over for a party, I like we like went like golfing and like drank and like then played basketball all day. So I'm like fucking tired. I go to sleep. I wake up and there's a full blown party going on at the house. And like my door opens and like these kids have a hookah and there's like six of them. I'm like, the fuck are you doing in my house with the hookah? They're like, oh, Brady told us that we could come in here to this room to smoke the hookah. I'm like, the fuck is happening? I go downstairs and it's just packed. However, the point of the story is there was a deaf girl there, and she told Brady to turn up the music so that she could feel the vibrations,
Yeah.
and it blew out the speakers. And to this day, so this is like 16 years ago, to this day, my mom still blames me for blowing out the speakers when not a single one of my friends was there. Brady had like 55 65 fucking like high school kids like raging, and specifically has an anecdote where a deaf girl told him to turn up the volume so she could feel it vibrating and the speaker stopped working. My fault.
That's how it goes, man.
It's bullshit, dude. Like I don't know how much, and Brady will still deny it to this day as if he's gonna get in trouble.
That's
Fucking deaf people, dude.
Jesus.
Like, dude, but they're not listening.
Not these
We don't have
cheese
we
jokes
have
do not reflect the views of everybody on this podcast.
I mean, we don't have closed captioning. We haven't got that far.
We do on the stream. We do.
Well, I've tried it before. I haven't seen it work.
Oh, it should auto do it. It's got to take like some time to process.
It does do auto transcript, which I thought that was weird when I noticed that. Like,
isn't that weird?
We could just download the transcript of our shit, like, and we didn't do anything, like, to create it.
Yeah.
I was like reading through it, and I was like trying to get better at not saying like or
Oh,
my dad's made fun of me for that before.
Really?
Yeah, you know, because he's recovering from a stroke, and so he's like still trying to learn how to speak himself.
Yeah.
And I'm like, did you see the podcast or did you hear the podcast? And he's like, I did. He's like, and I'm like,
savage.
I was like, are you saying that I say too much? He's like, yeah, no shit.
That's amazing.
Yeah. I think I say like more than but you know, whatever. We're here.
It's possible. I mean, I do it every once in a while. It's a habit to fill dead space. So you want to like come up with something to transition into your next thought, and you're just used to filling that, you know?
Well, I actually listened back to our last podcast, and specifically for that reason. And I think I got you to say like because I was saying it so much.
It's possible.
But, yeah, and I always think that I'm immune to stuff like that, where you know, I see somebody get into like a trap, like, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? I hate when people say that.
Yeah, I hate that.
I'm like, I get it. Okay, yeah, relax. But like that just can happen to you. You know, I've seen.
It's true. You can get sucked into it.
Yeah, like Jen Psaki, the press White House secretary. She just like retired recently.
Yeah, she's awesome.
Yeah, she's really awesome. I definitely would like to fuck her. And so would my cousin Big Sexy. Shout out. He's like, I'm not even into redheads, and he's like, I started Googling her, and I was like, okay, relax. But she said something over and over and over again. This one time I was listening to her, and I was like, she's like a fucking professional speaker. And even if she can get caught into that, I can get caught into that. And then, you know, that's just how it is.
True. It happens to everyone. I do it every once in a while. But
what I noticed, it's not us trying to fill time. It's when we're genuinely trying to think about what we're about to say. Because you and I bounce all over the place. And it's not like we don't just have a script, you know?
Yeah, I mean, we do everything live. So
yeah, so I'll just throw out a random question, or you'll throw out a random question, and then we're like, and then we're like, well, like, you know, that's when we get caught on it. Yeah. But okay, let's finish it off with therapy questions. With therapy question number 4, Joseph, or should I call you Eric?
Shout out Eric. He's a G, man. He's awesome.
Okay, well, besides Eric, if you could have dinner with anyone in the world right now, who would it be and why?
Well, I feel like things are very heavy right now, so I'd probably want to have dinner with someone who was funny. I'd want to sit down who I could have an intelligent conversation with and laugh and come away with some sort of anecdotes or something that I could take away and it'd be like a good experience but not too heavy. And I'd probably pick like Bill Burr or somebody like that. Bill Burr would be a good person to go to like a fucking Dodgers game with and hang out all day and drink beer and just discuss.
Isn't he like a Red Sox fan though?
Oh yeah, well I mean I don't know. I'm just picking a team. I mean whatever.
Okay,
We
well,
could go to a Pats game. We could go to a Patriots game when they play the Eagles and we could watch them lose. But even then that would be fun if you went to a Eagles Patriots game with Bill Burr and y'all were friends as opposed if you just got to go and he had to go with you. He would grill you all day, but you would have great conversations.
okay, well,
with him.
I don't know how this dinner turned into like epic
Hey, you didn't say where the
football
dinner
game.
was. No, oh, okay. If I had to go to dinner, Bill Burr would definitely be on that list as somebody. Neil deGrasse Tyson.
Anyone dead or alive?
Anyone dead or alive? So you didn't say that. You said on in the world right now. So I
Okay.
assumed that is like present
Okay.
time.
Well, give me both.
Any now dead?
No. Give me anyone who's alive besides Bill Burr because I don't feel like that's your real answer. That sounds like a cool dinner. Of course, I would like to go to dinner with Bill Burr, but out of anybody who's alive right now on the planet, you're telling me Bill Burr? I'll accept it. I like him a lot.
I mean, I wouldn't. I mean, Obama maybe. But I feel like there's like a short list of people that are like. I mean, because I wouldn't want to go with somebody that's a political figure. That's like the whole thing. Is I'd want to go with somebody who I would perceive or I do perceive as more like just
On
like
the
chill,
level.
like just chill. Yeah, like I mean, I want someone who's not stupid, and I'd want to go with someone who I could have intelligent conversation with, but I wouldn't want it to be super heavy. That's why I say someone
Be like fun but interesting and
yeah, that like it'd be good. Like I'd be that I would enjoy talking to. So let me think about it a little bit longer. But that's somebody when I read it, I was like, oh, he'd be a good person. I mean, I listened to his Monday morning podcast. It's really funny. He just rants and rambles. I feel like that's what he'd do the whole time when you hung out with, if you had dinner with him.
yeah.
Who's yours? You have even said anyone?
We're just working through yours.
No, I know. Well, I gotta think for a second.
Okay. I did put these in late, so we'll give you a pass. As far as coming off the cuff on it. Um, who would I want to have dinner with the most? Who is alive right now? I mean, you know that Oprah is just sitting there waiting. I think you and Oprah having dinner would be better than me and Oprah having dinner.
No, because
so that you can find out more about how evil she is or not.
I'm just saying Oprah has had.
There's no way you're walking away from that dinner with Oprah, coming back to me and be like, total bitch. I knew it.
No,
she's evil.
Not,
she's
no.
evil.
I'm not saying that she's a total bitch.
You would be
bitch.
sold. You would be sold. You'd be in the cult of Oprah.
She
will sell you so hard.
I don't think I ever said that she was a total bitch.
No, I know you didn't.
I was just saying that, like, to be as successful as she is, just like everyone else who's that successful, she has to have like crushed people to get to where she is, in some way, shape, or form. I bet
she's a charming motherfucker.
Oh, I bet.
In the words of Samuel L. Jackson.
I bet she's super nice, and then she'd do something ruthless as fuck, and would tell you, "Hey, that's just business." And that's all I'm saying is I wouldn't believe her if she said she didn't. There's no way that like it just happens for you like that. No. Nope.
I think I would have to pick I'm trying to figure out which one. Like a rapper who just is ridiculous.
Yeah,
like
future
like spending like too much money like at all times still. But still has, so all of a sudden there's like strippers coming over to the table. You're like, this is not even a strip club. It's like, I don't know. Bottle service, like where it just gets weird. Like, I'm trying to think of who's like, because Jay-Z's too old.
You'd have to do someone if you wanted to do something like that. It'd have to be like Future or something.
I don't really
Because
like
well,
Future.
that's fine, but Future, you might not don't have to like his music. All that dude does is like party and run. He just sold his publishing for like $75 million today, or yeah, $75 million. I think is what he sold his publishing for all of his old stuff, his old shit, like his super old stuff. He just sold, like the dude's got so much money. You would just fly around in jets, and he'd be like, it'd be a toxic dinner. He'd be saying and doing some wild toxic shit, but that'd be kind of funny.
And I'm trying to think of young, even younger, like just ignorant,
Lil
like
Lil Pump. I'll have dinner with Lil Pump. That'd be
they're
funny.
just like, yeah, we're gonna blow $150,000 tonight, one way or the other.
Well, but I think to hang out with someone like that, you're gonna have to hang out with like someone who's borderline kind of shitty and scummy. You're gonna have to be like, hey, if you want to
Yeah,
do
yeah,
something,
yeah, yeah,
you're gonna have to
yeah,
you have to go have dinner with Floyd Mayweather, and he'd do some
yeah.
wild shit.
There you go. That's a good one.
But that's a celebrity that if he tried to
But I
fight
wouldn't
me,
want to
I
do it
would
with.
fight
I
him.
wouldn't want. You would.
Yeah, if he tried to fight me and he was all fucked up, we were having dinner together.
I
You
mean,
can merge those questions together.
Yeah, but I mean, to bring it back, like, if someone's trying to fight me, I'm going to fight them no matter who it
It's
is.
true. Irrational confidence.
Well, just what am I supposed to do? I guess fight or flight. That was one
True.
of the ones that was one of the ones I was gonna put in here. Fight or flight. Which one is it?
Or
that,
yeah,
and
see,
I was
like, because if you want to do something wild like that, that's who you'd have to like party with. You'd have to party with somebody like that, or party with Travis Kelsey of like the Kansas City Chiefs.
yeah. Did you see him up in those stands in
Hell
Philly?
yeah, dude.
He
Yeah,
didn't
like,
even look like the same person with
no,
those
he's
shades
so
on.
he's
I thought I saw you in a reality show and know what you look like without your helmet, bro. And you look weird.
he's a trip. He's like
He's rowdy. He's like one of the.
they're
He's like
polar opposites. They're polar
he's like-
opposites.
Oh, his brother in him.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah, but it's like he's kind of like one of the like long lost Gronkowskis. Like they just both happen to make it in the league on a high level.
He's like the long lost Gronkowski's like black second cousin. Cause
Yeah.
he's not black, but he's blacker than the Gronkowskis.
Not even close.
Not even way close. More than the Gronkowskis are. That's for sure. He's got a lot. He has a lot more swagger.
He does love the sisters.
Yeah, he has a lot more swag. A lot more swag than the.
We're talking about Travis Kelsey, y'all.
Yeah.
Tight end, tight end, a Super Bowl winner of the Chiefs.
Yeah, he's legit.
All right, let's move on to the articles. Joseph, lead us off.
All right, so this first article, it's small. It's a short article. I just saw it and was like, "What? This is hilarious," because it's kind of like a contradiction. So the CEO of Beyond Meat, or the COO of Beyond Meat, was arrested at the Razorbacks football, or in the parking lot of the Razorbacks football stadium, for biting off a man's nose and getting in an altercation with the man who drives a Subaru. You'd think, as someone who's the COO of a meat alternative, you wouldn't be like beating up Subarus. I think that's like the vehicle of choice of vegans. I'm definitely in Colorado, and you wouldn't be like biting people's noses. That's a little bit more carnivorous. But yeah, so apparently this food executive, he was arrested on a pair of charges. This guy pulled up and bumped his Bronco, and then the what's his name, Doug Ramsey, 53 of Fayetteville, hopped out of the terroristic threatening charges and third-degree battery. Yeah, hopped out of his car and decided to beat the shit out of the back of this guy's car, in which the gentleman got out of the car of the Subaru and started beating him up. They got into a little bit of scuffle, and then Doug Ramsey bit like his nose off. And so whenever the cops arrived, they're both like drenched in blood because this guy had bitten his fucking nose off. Like the tip of his nose bit off a chunk of skin and meat. Did you, I don't even know. That's like the wildest shit. I don't understand how you can get in a fight, especially as a COO of like a meat alternative, and you're biting people and you're beating up Subarus. What did you think about this, sir?
I mean, to be fair, it's called Beyond Meat. You know, he's taking it to a whole nother level.
Dude, like what a fucking crazy. This is like the perfect example of people like being way too crazy about sports. I mean, and we're Eagles fans, but Jesus Christ, dude, like it sucks when someone bumps your car. I saw someone getting some mad road rage. I thought there was going to be a fight yesterday on my way to work. Like I thought this dude like cut him off. He was about to slam into him. But biting people's noses, that's some pretty wild shit, man.
Think about it the other way though. Could you imagine just one day you get some rich, you know, board sweet executive from some vegan company just happens to be in like your realm and bites your fucking nose off.
And,
Like
and
I would feel like I'm like I would need a lot of like therapy, and not like from the PTSD, but like what am I doing in life to where I allowed some dude to bite my nose off? Like, not to blame the victim, but I think there needs a lot to be like a lot of
what
introspection.
well, that's what well, yeah, no, definitely. But what's also interesting is that what he didn't realize is that's probably that Subaru vegan is probably one of his biggest fans. It's like, hey man, like you're the shit. So it's like he got beat up by like one of their like beat up by a superhero almost. But that's crazy. So that's where if somebody smashes your car or something like that, stay in your car, call cops, get their license plate, do what you got to do. But don't like get out and then go try to fight people. Like people are
Well,
fucking wild.
I just thought about this. Dude in the Subaru and the CEO probably a little hangry. You know, they can't get like real meat. They're probably like
Yeah,
you know, like
malnutrition,
malnutrition, just a little bit like tense and like
iron
you know,
deficiency.
yeah, just like ready to snap because they can't get a real fucking cheeseburger at Razorback Stadium.
Are you allowed to eat meat as the COO of Beyond Meat, or is there like some contract clause where it's like if you're seen eating fucking pork shoulder, we're gonna kick your ass? Like, is
There might be a countersuit here. He might be like, I was never be in that situation had they let me eat
eat
real meat.
this
I would
this
if
heavy
I was the
this
if I
heavy
was the
yeah?
meat industry, if I was the cattle industry, that who came after your girl Oprah when she said that like she was like doing some like dieting thing, and she said like eating meat might not be good for you, and they sued her. She like went to court for it, and there was a settlement. Like the entire meat industry sued her. What if these fuckers start like putting this in ads? Look what happens when you eat fake meat.
Mr. Ramsey, because he took over as COO in December 2021, so he hasn't had the job that long either, man. But maybe that's all it takes. Maybe that's why they're recycling COOs, because they are, yeah, like you said, they're getting hangry and they're not themselves when they're hungry. Shout out Snickers sponsor. Come on, let's go. Throw some cash. Yeah, this is a small article, but when I was reading, I was like, holy fucking shit, this dude bit this guy's nose off. And maybe he saw like a heavy set, portly, you know, Razorback fan and was like, I gotta bite that guy. He looks too good. I gotta get some of that schnoz in my mouth right now. So I'm gonna.
Pinocchio.
Did you ever watch Dirty Work with Chris Farley
Of
and
course.
Artie Lang? Whenever he's like, a Saigon whore bit my goddamn nose
Yeah,
off.
you forgot Norm.
Yeah, Norm. Yeah, shout out Norm. Shout out Chris Farley. R.I.P. Yeah, seriously, that's such a good movie if you haven't seen it. But Chris Farley gets his nose bitten off a couple times by a whore.
Son of a bitch.
That's one of the last movies he did. The last. I have just so many weird memories about Chris Farley movies, but I think the last movie he did was Almost Hero. Or no, almost.
It was like
Almost Heroes. It had
his,
Matt Perry, and they were with Lewis and Clark. And he goes on this expedition, and that movie's the most ridiculous fucking thing I've ever seen.
shout out Sacagawea.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I feel like Chris Farley's run was like right in like when our wheelhouse as far as like I wasn't. I mean, I've seen Tommy Boy and like Black Sheep like 1,000 times, and I remember like Mitch and Sean and Brad King, like they would like could like literally quote every single line of every single Chris Farley movie. Like,
Oh yeah.
way more than me.
Oh
But
yeah.
it was just like it was like ubiquitous. It was like as if it became a part of our language. Some of like the lines out of those movies,
I think
like shit that I probably say to shit I probably still say today and don't even remember where it came from. But it was like Tommy Boy
Oh yeah.
or like Beverly Hills Ninja.
No, okay, and this is real talk. So I love the Carpenters. Whatever they're like, you know, the old like folky.
You've told the audience before.
Yeah, but I think I really in the movie Tommy Boy when they're singing the Carpenters and they're singing Superstar. I think that's like probably one of the first times I ever heard that music, and like that's probably why I got into it, is I thought that scene was so funny, and I was like, what fucking song is that? And my dad's like, oh, it's, we used to smoke weed listening to that. Like back when we talked about making our own soap or whatever the fuck all of our parents did.
What is this, Fight Club?
No, well, no. This was like, hippie commune utopia, man, paperless
Uh,
community. Like, I feel
what?
like that's everyone was listening to, like the Carpenters and all that shit was sitting around smoking weed, and then they grew up and told us not to. So, whatever. Next article. Pew. My screen got bright as fuck. So, this next article is from MSNBC. I know a little partisan, but it's kind of all over the place. This is just a good article to run through it. So, if you guys remember on the January 6th, I think it was the first special witness. What was her name? I can't remember her name. It's not in the article. But the first person who went up, and there was mention of specific. Oh, Cassidy Hutchinson, that's who it was. Testified that several GOP lawmakers sought pardons on December 21st, 2020. So what we do know is that some of them was in regards to maybe stuff that they did in relation to what was coming up on January 6th, or slate of fake electors, or Roger Stone trying to get out of prison for being a piece of shit. There's lots of people who are asking for pardons. This article is in regards to specifically Matt Gaetz, hence the title "Two Traffickers, One Cup," because Matt Gaetz is currently, and has been for about a year almost, under investigation, a criminal investigation for sex trafficking charges right now, where there's been evidence. There was like a little bit of a whistleblower, someone that he worked directly with in fundraising has already been arrested, taken a plea deal in regards to basically paying girls and flying them around the country, paying them through Venmo, potentially with some campaign funds. And Matt Gaetz has been under this criminal investigation. So it's come to light that what he was asking for that pardon in regards to was in regards to the investigation that he is currently under for this trafficking. There's a girl who was under the age of 17 whenever this was taking place. I mean, it's pretty cringe. This article doesn't have all of it. There's voicemails that they'd left for girls and stuff, and one of the guys on the voicemails literally took a plea deal for the same charges that Matt Gaetz is being charged for. Why he's still able to do what he's supposed to do right now doesn't make sense. But he'd asked the president for amnesty when it came to, it was like Matt Gaetz was personally pushing for a pardon and has been doing so since early December, is what Cassidy Hutchinson testified. So someone testified to him asking for a pardon in regards to these things. What do you think about this, sir?
I'm not sure what he does in general. Like, I don't think he's ever passed any legislation. I don't know if he's ever written any legislation. We all know that he's a piece of shit. He's an idiot as well. Like, he has, like, yeah, the Venmo receipts paying like underage women. Like, are you fucking kidding me? Um, like, it's same thing with like the Trump shit, where it's like, fuck, like we all know like he's committed crimes. Why aren't these people arrested? And then, I've heard like a different argument where it's like they're just like, it's not like like Trump's like the like Department of Justice, where it's like, do what I say now. That's not how this shit works.
Yeah.
So I want to trust the process, and we live in like the age of acceleration, where it's like we have the info now, like we need instant gratification now. And so, our legal system doesn't necessarily work that way. So I'm trusting that they get to this, but I do find it really disturbing how all these dudes are like committing crimes just like out loud, like overtly, and like somehow like raise money off of it. And like,
Yeah, and they're raising money off of it. And this article says has almost a 99% probability to get reelected to his position,
it's insane.
which is nuts to me. And it was John, where is it? Yeah.
Meanwhile, like Al Franken, who's the senator of Minnesota, took a picture on a military plane because he went and visited the fucking troops in Iraq, uh, pretending like he was grabbing this girl's boobs, who was wearing a bulletproof jacket, and she was asleep on a cargo plane. He's not actually grabbing her boobs.
And other people took that picture.
Yeah, somebody else took the picture. while they were visiting the fucking troops in Iraq, probably Matt Gaetz has never been to Iraq, never even thought about going to see the troops. I guarantee it. And the Democrats are like, yo, dude, you have to resign your Senate seat. What?
Yeah. Well, I mean, it was Johnny McEntee who told investigators that Gates had assured him that he'd done nothing wrong, but the congressman thought it would be great if Trump would give him a pardon anyways. I didn't do anything. Yeah, asked by investigators if Gates' request for a pardon was in the context of the Justice, because the Justice Department is investigating whether he violated federal sex trafficking laws. So
I think it's clear that he did.
Yeah, and I think that context was yes. So he basically
they've already got his boy who was like helping him out with it.
Yeah,
who's already pleaded guilty to exactly what they're saying he did.
Yeah, and
he's like, yeah, we did.
And I think that while we live in a time of instant gratification, I think there's the blatant dragging of feet that like accusations like this, like these should be held to the fire, right? Like you would say that if someone is being accused of something like that, you hold them to the fire immediately, right?
No, I agree. And there is the saying, which is 100% true, justice delayed is justice denied. So just like saying that you're going to charge him in perpetuity, like just for indefinitely, that's not really justice,
Yeah.
So you got it, what is it, like you're entitled to a like swift trial or something like that, like whatever it is.
Yeah. Mind blowing. Yeah, there's a grand jury for this.
There's a speedy trial. I forget what like the exact term, but like that's guaranteed in the United States Constitution, is that you're going to have your time in court quickly. And it's kind of been flipped where these people have the money to drag it out, appeal it, blah blah blah, and just that's
and what really comes into question, so people are clear, it's not that he was like cheating on his wife and all this weird shit and running around doing all this bullshit. It's that he was using funds to, like, he was flying this girl, one of these girls who was underage, like across state lines to visit him places and taking her places and doing all
who's
underage. And that's where the whole, I mean, obviously the underage is bad enough, but then you take, whenever in the federals, as you start taking that person across state lines, they're trafficking a minor at that point.
And it's the commerce law.
Yeah,
which I think, unless you like went through business school or just are a smart person, most underrated fucking law in the history of this country is the commerce law, because that's how it went from like every state has its own law, and then the federal government was like, okay, well, if you're going to sell something from X state to Y state, then that in cross state lines, then now we can get involved.
Yeah, that's how they get people.
Yeah, and then that precedent like just spreads like throughout society. So like the fact that he crossed state lines with an underage person who he was paying like as a sugar daddy,
or whatever the fuck it is.
Yeah, then you're federally fucked.
Yeah, you are federally fucked. That is a good fucking way to put it. All right, so Matt Gaetz is a perv. That's already established.
Yeah, we already knew that.
So then,
who do you hate more, him or Josh Hawley?
Probably
Josh Hawley's like a senator from Tennessee.
Yeah, I know who Josh Hawley is.
No, I know you do. Just for the audience.
I'd probably hate Matt Gaetz more because he looks weird and he's like, I just don't like him more. And Josh Hawley's like a traitor or whatever you want to call him, and is like a douche. But man, Matt Gaetz just looks super creepy, and I just don't like him.
Punchable face.
Very punchable face. He's like Stephen Miller in level of punchable face. Like I see Matt Gaetz.
His is more punchable because he has like a head of hair, Like
he has.
Stephen Miller, he's like bald and like dorky looking.
Yeah, like he's already being punished through the hairline.
It's like, dude, I don't want to punch you in the face. You're just such a piece of shit. Matt Gaetz, it's like he thinks this shit doesn't well, Stephen Miller thinks this shit doesn't stink either, but yeah, no, it's okay. We don't have to go down further about who's got a more punchable face.
The next one, everybody's been hearing about it. We got a couple, like 2 clips that we're gonna play. We'll have a picture that is the brochures that Matt Gaetz Ron DeSantis passed out to these migrants that he or these immigrants that he shipped off to Martha's Vineyard on a plane with a bunch of taxpayers' money. And then we also have a clip of a lawyer who actually talked about this for a little bit, an immigration lawyer who like went the fuck off. But Ron DeSantis, and I'm from Texas, so this is something that Greg Abbott's been doing, but in a completely different way. But long story short, Ron DeSantis sent people to Texas. He was given $12 million by the state legislature of Florida to help protect the borders from illegal immigrants. Now I guess you could get some from Cuba. You can get people coming up in boats, but they don't like touch the Mexico border. So Ron DeSantis got the bright idea of sending people to San Antonio to go canvass and convince these people that were illegal immigrants that they had jobs waiting, housing waiting for them, basically an expedited work visas or permanent residency if they went with them to, if they basically got on this plane. And they said they were all going to Boston, is where they told people is where they were sending them. They sent them to Martha's Vineyard. They didn't let them give them any heads up. Put 50 people on 2 planes and sent them up there and just dropped them off and left them. They were actually pretty far away from any kind of community center, so they had to walk a couple miles just to get to somewhere where they could like get situated. They were given these fake brochures, which I'll pull up in a second, that like have like cliff notes about Martha's Vineyard, but basically a bunch of bullshit. They have, like the nearest church, and then set people up with court dates. This is where the clip with the lawyer gets really interesting, because she discusses how they set them up with meetings with their closest resident or like established addresses. A lot of these people didn't have established addresses, so they marked them down as like homeless shelters, and they'd be in like Tacoma, Washington, Topeka, Kansas, Ann Arbor, Michigan. They were just putting random homeless shelters down, and these people would have to report some of them within 24 to 48 hours to that nearest Department of Homeland Security or DHS or DPS or wherever to start up to have their court date to start going through this stuff. But they shipped them all to Martha's Vineyard and didn't tell anybody about these court dates, and kind of made a bunch of fraudulent fake documents, or gave them falsified information to basically send them somewhere. And then these people would have wound up being permanently deported forever if they miss these court dates. There's like no reinstatement. They wouldn't be able to do anything. And they, tricked them all under the guise of giving them some sort of like refuge. And he's just on this tip. He says he's got $12 million. He's going to use every cent of it, and that we can expect more planes with migrants being sent to sanctuary cities.
Okay, Ron DeSantis, you piece of shit. Guess what? That $12 million that you allegedly were given by the state Congress in Florida to deport people from your state to some other state, well, guess what? It said migrants from Florida. The migrants that you just shipped to Martha's Vineyard, 50 asylum seekers, so they're not here illegally.
Yep.
Not here illegally. We're in Texas, not Florida. Florida, turns out, not a border state. Turns out Venezuela, not on our border.
Yeah, right? Like you're canvassing the Riverwalk to like send people. Like,
yeah,
dude, that's so
but
fucking crazy.
That's illegal. He broke the law.
Oh, yeah,
The law specifically says, and it's a Florida law. This is not even a federal law. It says that $12 million has to be used for migrants from Florida. None of these migrants were from Florida. None of them were here illegally. And this asshole, they have to like go to court, like to like show up for like a hearing. It actually takes like 4 years to get like your asylum claim, like on average, like filled. However, you're allowed to still work here and live here while it's going on, but you still have to show up in court. Well, all these people have fucking court in Texas. No, he shipped them to like Martha's Vineyard, told them that he was going to give them money and housing and jobs, like, and they're not from Florida.
Yeah. All right, I'm gonna play this clip real quick. It's like a minute 30 seconds. This is a immigration attorney who's in Martha's Vineyard who's helping these people. They've actually, just as an update, they had way too many people trying to go out there and help. They were turning away volunteers. These people had housing, shelter, food. They set them up at a nearby military base. So everybody that was sent there is good. So I mean, if they thought that they were like sticking it to people, the community just came together and did what's right. I mean, I'm not religious,
Yeah,
but
it's like they sent him to a vacation spot with a bunch of rich people. Sick.
yeah,
You showed us DeSantis that you're a piece of shit, but they're gonna be fine.
yeah. But this is a migrant. She's the attorney who's like representing them, helping them out with paperwork. They've, just so you do know, they're currently under 2 investigations. I'll play a clip in a bit of a sheriff who is from Texas, who's investigating that from San Antonio, who's opened up a criminal investigation. And there's actually a civil lawsuit. All of the migrants have filed a civil lawsuit against Ron DeSantis and like the state of Florida government. But I'm gonna play
real quick before you play it. So your governor who shipped them to Washington D.C.
Yeah, Kamala Harris' house.
Yeah, to Kamala Harris's house.
Yep.
Well, you know who owns a giant mansion on Martha's Vineyard? Barack Obama. Just bought it like a year ago.
Yeah, he's moving on up, dude.
I know, but nobody's brought that up. But that was probably what DeSantis was like in the back of his head.
We'll send him to Obama's house.
But he's taking so much shit that he can't even like flex on. Like I sent him to Obama, and like nobody's like picked that up yet.
Yeah, I'm gonna play this real quick. Hold on.
Prize present for them, and that there would be jobs and housing awaiting for them when they arrived. This was obviously a sadistic lie. Not only did those responsible for this stunt
She's
know
awesome. She's a
that there
badass
was no
attorney.
housing and no employment awaiting the migrants, they also very intentionally chose not to call ahead to any single office authority on Martha's Vineyard so that even the most basic human needs arrangements could be made, ensuring that no help awaited the migrants at all was the entire point.
See, man, this is what I said. Ron DeSantis is scary as shit, dude, because he's wild as fuck.
These people are ordered removed, even as they try as hard as they can to comply with the instructions provided to them.
Trump.
There is no other reason to list as someone's mailing address a homeless shelter in Tacoma, Washington, when they ship him to Massachusetts.
That's nuts.
To the people who find themselves
Tacoma, Washington, and this is his home, and they shipped him to Massachusetts.
Who find themselves plane wrecked on our island. I have a message for all of them. You are not alone. We have your backs. We are proud to be here for you.
Bro, she's beast.
And we've got you. If the intention of those who perpetrated this horrendous act was to create a crisis, you have failed.
Damn, dude. Yeah, no, she's pissed, and rightfully so. Like, I mean, people don't get it misconstrued. People who do, like, who advocate for immigrants and stuff, those lawyers, they care so much. Like, that takes such, I gotta give her a hard time. I dated this lawyer for a while, and she's a horrible person. But she's a defense attorney, and there was a want to do something for somebody else that has to exist for you to choose that route, or especially to show up and be like, I'm going to help these people. That she doesn't have to do that. And when you listen to that clip, I'm sure you watched them because I sent you the links. She's pissed. Like, she's like, are you kidding me? You put this guy's mailing address as a homeless shelter in Tacoma, Washington, and you sent him off to Massachusetts, and he's got court Monday morning at 8 a.m. in Tacoma, Washington. That's absolutely fucking absurd. I'm gonna pull up these brochures, because they pass out these brochures that look like super cornballish, and on the back it's got a website, it's got a phone number, community services and churches, it's got a first stop, an immigration resource center, a Federated Church, a Hebrew center, and then MV Community Services with a bunch of clip art pictures on it. And then on the inside, it just says, additional service, resettlement agencies who resettle refugees under the match grant program provide cash assistance and in-kind support to the refugee for an additional 90 days beyond the normal 30-day period for reception and placement assistance. Like, they're literally wrote down that they're going to give these fuckers money when they get there. And then employment for refugees programs and services for eligible populations, blank, seeking employment. Refugee cash assistance provides up to 8 months of cash assistance for income-eligible refugees without dependent children who reside in Massachusetts. But what's fucked is they put none of these people's residence down as Massachusetts. They literally put them all over the fucking U.S. map, setting these people up to literally get deported permanently for avoiding court. During the first 90 days after our refugees' arrival in Massachusetts, resettlement agencies provide the basic needs and support: assistance with housing, furnishing food and other basic necessities, clothing, transportation to job interviews, job training. What the fuck? And like they just dropped all these people off. These guys are making these super bold moves when it comes to shit like this, like a Ron DeSantis, like a Lindsey Graham right now with his, national ban on a woman's right to choose. This could get him in a fuck ton of trouble, man. A civil suit? I don't know how you can run on a platform for president if he's going to try to run for president and have shit like this looming over your head. You literally sent people the fuck off. I'm going to play this clip real quick while Mr. Goody goes and takes a shit. This is Javier Salazar. He is a sheriff, and he has opened up an investigation into Ron DeSantis scooping up immigrants and sending them on planes to fucking Massachusetts. I can't believe that that's even something that I would have to say out loud at this point. I'm going to play this real quick.
We are opening up a case with an investigation.
And good for them, as they should.
In regard to the suspected activities involving the 48 migrants from Venezuela that, as we understand it at this point, the facts of the case at this point, are that on Wednesday, September 14th, here in Bexar County in the city of San Antonio, our understanding is that
what happened?
With regard to preyed upon, somebody came from out of state. Martha's Vineyard is the lured.
Don't boot me.
I will use the word lured under false pretenses into staying at a hotel for a couple of days. They were taken by airplane. At a certain point, they were shuttled to an airplane where they were flown to Florida and then eventually flown to Martha's Vineyard, again under false pretenses is the information that we have.
They flew to Florida
first. They were promised work. They were promised the solution to several of their problems. They were taken to Martha's Vineyard from what we can gather for little more than a photo op, video op, and then they were unceremoniously stranded in Martha's Vineyard. What infuriates me the most about this case is that here we have 48 people that are already on hard times, right? They are here legally in our country at that point. They have every right to be where they are. And I believe that they were preyed upon. Somebody came from out of state, what they were absolutely looking for, with the knowledge.
If you guys are one of the listeners right now, this sheriff is talking about how
to just be exploited and hoodwinked into making this trip to Florida and then onward to Martha's Vineyard for what I believe to be nothing more than political posturing to make a point.
So, I mean, like he said, is so they got them to stay at a hotel for a couple of days in San Antonio. Then they flew them to Florida and then flew them to Martha's Vineyard. And like he said, like that Bexar County sheriff was saying, like, at that point, like those people that were taken, that were like, at this point, they were here legally and they're working. These people are down on hard times. They were promised jobs, job placement, like we saw in the pamphlet. Housing, an additional 90 days, driving to and from work, job training and placement. They basically offered these people the dream that they thought that they're looking for when they came to America in the first place, to be used for a photo op and then ditched in Martha's Vineyard, was set up with court dates all over the country with ramifications that are so serious for those people just for a photo op. And like I was telling you, Andy, like that's what really scares me about Ron DeSantis. And he's a lawyer. He's a JAG lawyer. So he used to be a naval lawyer or whatever, but he's a fucking asshole.
He's a jag off.
And he knows no bounds. He pushes the limits so much. He comes from that ilk of this conservative party where all they're going to do is push the line, push the line, push the line, and see what falls. So, like, they've done that with Roe v. Wade for forever, just to see how long it would take, or we got a trigger law and it's existed since 2001 because they were trying before that. They just could pass a trigger law, so they set it in. So, Ron DeSantis knows no bounds when it comes to like punishing people for personal reasons with his political power, or using his political power to have serious ramifications on people's personal lives. I mean, you're lying to families, putting them on planes and offering them a future. If you told them like, hey, and you're not even from this state, like you're not even allowed to do that. So what the fuck are you doing in the first place? That's so goofy. To then fly them to Florida, that's so weird. That's almost entrapment, right?
It's I don't
no. I'm trying to think like in a cop situation.
It's human trafficking.
Well, no, I know that, but what I'm saying is like, as an analogy for like a cop, that would be a cop entrapping you. He'd have to like be growing weed and smoke weed with you and give you all of the drugs and do the drugs and sell all the drugs to then bust you for being a drug dealer. Like it'd be like he would have to actually entrap you. Like he'd actually have to be a drug dealer. That's like that's the craziest shit, to fly them to Florida to try to justify it. That's what I'm saying is, or no, being pulled over and taken to a drug house and arrested for a drug dealer when you weren't even selling drugs.
It's even worse than that. It's like it doesn't make any sense, because what does he get out of this?
Photo op, man. But like but it's goofy because this could be the shit that like brings him the.
But he's not a fucking national figure. He's the governor of Florida. You're not helping Floridians by deporting or transporting people from Texas to fucking Martha's Vineyard, dude. Like you're not serving anybody that is your constituent. Like, I don't understand how he thought that this was like good for him. I mean, I guess it is, because like what, they're owning the libs, because like the fuck, you're just fucking over.
I'm gonna go to prison for human trafficking to own the libs.
Yeah, 50 fucking people who just fled their country because it's being run by a crazy dictator. Yeah. And inflation. You think inflation's bad here? Ask Venezuela. It's fucking their money might as well just be like actual paper, because it means nothing. Like, it's really, really bad. Yeah. And these people left everything, came here the right way, surrendered themselves, asked for asylum in Texas. And DeSantis is like, yo, you have like 50. And you know why? You know why he did it with asylum seekers and not undocumented workers? Or like, so the asylum seekers are here legally. Had he shipped illegal immigrants, if you will, like undocumented immigrants, it would have been a federal offense.
Oh yeah.
Because he's shipping undocumented immigrants from one state to another. So now he's doing what like they don't want people to do, which is like transport illegal immigrants through the country. So he chose people who are here legally to do it, to make a fucking point. It's like there's a special fucking place in the SHOE program. That's right. SHOE program. 23-hour lockdown, special housing unit.
Yeah.
DeSantis, you know what the gas chamber smells like?
Jesus.
Pine Sol, homie.
Dude, he's like, he's such a piece of shit. And it's, to own the libs. I'm Matt Gaetz. I'm going to pay underage girls to travel the country with me, because I'm too busy to hang out with my wife, because I'm busy owning the libs.
Yeah. Meanwhile, what are we doing? What are we doing over in the Democratic Party? And that's right. I said we. we're just passing infrastructure bills. We're passing Inflation Reduction Acts, climate change bills. You're
getting a clap right now. You're getting a clap.
We don't think that Ukraine can win the war? Guess what? Biden did. Yeah. What happened, Russia? What the fuck happened? Get up out of here. Oh, we're not only taking back that territory that you thought you had, we're gonna go get Crimea back too, bitch.
War horn. You got a clap, and then it evolved into a cheer, and then war horn.
Yeah, Biden's declared the pandemic's over. Yeah. Deal with it.
Yeah, but so Ron DeSantis is in a quite the shitstorm right now. I mean, you can tell by looking at the like that pamphlet. Like, that's crazy. They had people passing out these like fraudulent pamphlets to people, like a fucking MapQuest map, crude ass map to like, this is where you are. You are here. Fucking douche, man. I mean, and it's interesting because I was saying earlier when you were, taking a shit or whatever it is you're doing. No, that like, I don't know. I don't think this is gonna like dissuade him from being like voted for or being able to run. It should disqualify you from being able to run.
Well, we found out that there's.
Oh yeah,
there's
it should, but it doesn't.
Yeah. That mold has been broken.
Oh yeah. Next article, and then I got 2 clips just to end on a light note. I just want to end on a light note.
We'll find out.
They're pretty funny. This is from Vice. Vice. I can actually bring it up.
Oh, our Canadian brethren. Except for they're in like some hot
What
water.
is with the eerie salute people are doing at Trump rallies now?
Oh my God!
Have you seen that?
Shit?
Yes, dude. So I have like I have it in a little bit. So we'll play like this crazy unhinged shit. But yeah, man, Donald Trump is like blending this, is like really reaching out to the Q community and trying to bring them in. And they're holding up one finger, doing this like hold your right hand up. People are comparing it to Zeke Heil, which is, that Nazi party symbol, which is awful. And now he has people doing this in regards to America First.
And he didn't even ask them to do it. They, as a crowd, did it on their own. However, this music that plays behind him,
so he's
like a soundtrack, it's like really similar to this song called
"Where We Go One, We Go All," which is like a little slogan for QAnon. So he was playing that.
They stole that shit from like some like B-list movie. I forget exactly which one it was, but it's like one that you've heard of.
Yeah, and it's like that's their jam.
I mean, we QAnon listeners continue listening. We encourage hate listening, but also for the audio people who are not watching the live stream or the video, you can't hear these clips that Joseph's playing. So if there's a pause, we're working on that. We're going to try to get it better, but so just don't think that like your shit's going out. Like I can't hear it either, but I know, but I watched them ahead of time. So
and I think
we'll figure it out.
And we'll figure. I've got this robot built that I can use for the sports podcast, where it like will auto clip it and it captures all of my audio on my computer. So I might be able to do that, and then it would just send you a file. We'll talk about it off air. But I'm trying to salute. Man, I got my computer working overdrive when we do this shit with all these clips and videos. No, the song is the Trump salute ended with whenever he ended his speech with the song WWG1 WGA by Richard Feelgood, which is a blatant reference to QAnon. Michael Protzman, the QAnon cult leader who predicted that JFK would come back. That was in Dallas, so that's here.
Yeah, of course he would come back where his dad was shot in the head. Like, it makes sense.
But yeah, they're doing this weird like QAnon. Like, no, they're doing this like weird fucking QAnon salute thing the entire time, and I've pulled it. I've got it like pulled up where it's some of his speech, and it's creepy as fuck, man. Like, like the level, it's just like, and now he's, because like that's like his biggest bastion.
And the shit that he says too is so, it's like, you are the fucking worst.
And this is to the background of this music. And these 2 guys in the background. There's this guy with this stash and a beret. The Blacks for Trump guys, of course. Fucking getting paid, dude. Those guys have gotten paid, dude.
I don't know. That'd be the first people that Donald Trump's ever paid.
But he loves his African Americans over there.
That's true. He also loves the poorly educated.
Election-changing facts to be presented to the public.
Dude, like,
Hunter Biden's laptop.
And like, I'm so tired of Hunter Biden's fucking laptop. Hunter Biden's got a drug addiction and he's a fucking mess. But I don't.
Yeah. By the way, feel free to lock him up. We don't care.
Yeah, I don't care. I'm not like attached to this fucking guy.
Yeah, this is not like the Trump shit where it's like,
oh my god,
my daughter, my son. Like, it's like only like family. Like, we're all no.
We're a
If
nation
Hunter
that no
Biden needs to
longer
go
has
to
a
jail
free
for doing some
press
dumb shit,
and has
good riddance.
Good,
no
put him in jail. It's nepotism.
We would all love it. We would all love it.
News is
Somebody
Guess what?
was-
We don't have to talk about it
and they
anymore.
are
Somebody
truly
was-
the enemy of the people.
Someone was talking
We are a
about that
nation
with me,
where
and I was
free
like, dude,
speech is no
I don't give
longer
two
allowed,
fucks
where
about
crime
Hunter
is
Biden.
rampant
And I was
Zero
like, oh my god,
fucks.
I was like, oh my god,
when
you're
the
telling me
economy
that
has been
some
collapsing,
rich,
where
powerful
more
dude's
people died
kids
of
like
COVID in
ended up getting on drugs and it was all
2021
fucked up and as a
2020.
product of nepotism.
We are a
Like, yeah, I
nation
mean,
that is allowing a
there's-
Not really.
build a
He's never
massive
like he's
nuclear
not really a
weapon
product of nepotism.
China
well, but
to use
whenever
the
people bring up like, well,
trillions of
why if
dollars
he's
that
on
is
all these
taken
drugs,
from
why does
us
he work for this energy
build a
firm and get
military
paid? I was
to
like,
rival
because his dad's powerful, just like how
Right, but-
every other
but it-
politician's got some kids that have a job they shouldn't have because
Yeah,
their
but that's-
dad's fucking
but-
powerful.
But Joe Biden didn't get him the job.
No,
it's
I
this
know.
it's this company being like, hey, might be like not a bad investment to have the president's son on our payroll. And the president's son's like, yo, I gotta buy more cocaine. I'm gonna take the money.
Yeah, let's
Joe
fucking
Biden's
go.
like, I'm running a country. I didn't know anything about this.
Yeah, but I mean, this Trump cult is like dropped into like serious fucking just well,
Lock
because
Hunter
of that.
Biden up. As long as we can lock up 3 of the Trump children at the same time, I'll do a 3-to-1 prisoner exchange right here.
What is
Yeah,
the,
we'll
what
give,
who
we'll
do you
give you
lock up?
Hunter.
Who do you lock up?
Ah, obvious.
Does that include like kid-in-laws? Because I say lock up Kushner because he's fucking annoying.
Okay,
and
Kushner,
suck Saudi
Kushner
dicks.
Jr. and Ivanka done, and then just
You let
make
Eric.
sure.
You let Eric go free.
Yeah, I think like he wouldn't be able to. You wouldn't be able to try him because
They'd be
he's
like, hey,
he's mentally
yeah,
challenged.
they'd be like, hey,
They're like, he's not fit for trial because he's so dumb.
that's that's terrible. But yeah, he's pretty dumb. Yeah, but
So dumb.
I feel like
just-
I feel like they'd lock up Eric because he's dumb and he'd be like a fall guy. So I doubt you'd get Ivanka, but you could get the boys. You could get Kushner, Eric, and you could get Donnie Jr. I'd take those 3 because Ivanka's gonna be. I mean,
But Eric might be good to like have him like be a floater, like just to like say dumb shit like moving forward. So like he's always like exposing like crimes, you know, because he can't help himself.
yeah, but I think
Like,
that if Ivanka,
Especially
if
if everybody else is locked up, so he has to take over like the family.
See, but I'd like to see like Kushner and then the 2 boys locked up because then you'd see like a resurgence. There'd be a rebirth of Ivanka. She'd be away from Jared Kushner. He'd be locked up in
Well,
prison, and
my
then she'd
girl
be
Tiffany-
living.
my
She'd be
girl
living her.
Tiffany.
Well, yeah, Tiff. We're not sending Tiff to jail. Tiff's good.
No, free Tiffany.
Yeah, free Tiff. And then Barron's gonna go play at Villanova, starting power forward at Villanova because he'll be like 7'2" at that point.
So I just heard literally right before we went on the air that Melania, whenever Trump was became president, she
Yeah.
she renegotiated her prenup.
Oh yeah. I know that. I know she did that.
yeah.
Yeah, that she did that. That was like public news.
And part of that was making sure that Barron got as much of a cut as Ivanka, Eric, and DJ TJ.
That's good. That's good. Shout out.
But no mention of Tiffany in that. she just cut out of the well.
Well, but I mean, Tiff's probably getting what, a majority. Well, I don't know.
I don't know either. She's like really low, like under the radar, which I if I was her, I would be too.
Oh, I would want to be. I'd just be like,
But
yeah.
she tried to make a speech at like the Republican National Convention, like 2016, and I think that like she didn't want to do it. She did it, and then she's like, "Fuck
Fuck
that!
that.
I'm never doing shit like that again." And
Or-
then it just spiraled and
Come coked out Eric's in the corner, like, well, you just gotta go out there. You gotta have energy. And then what's his crazy wife? Oh, what's her name?
Well, both of them have crazy wives.
Yeah, they both do. The brunette one, not the blonde one.
Yeah, that's
Eric's got
Kimberly Goldfield.
Yeah,
Yeah. AKA my governor, my boy, Gavin Newsom's ex-wife.
Oh,
You know
no
that?
way. That's Gavin Newsom's
is
ex-wife.
Donald Trump Jr.'s fiance.
That's amazing. That makes me like.
Insane.
It makes
It's
me like. That makes
insanity.
me like Gavin Newsom even more.
That he was like banging a Fox News
Well,
host,
because
like,
it's just like, cause then like like he was like, man, that shit's toxic. I'm out. You know what I'm saying? So it's like to know that one of the Trumps has Gavin Newsom's like ex. That's got to be like, it's got to like sting.
Isn't it so funny though? Because Donald Trump Jr. looks like an ugly version of Gavin Newsom.
That's fair.
They both have like the slick back hair, like the white boy, you know. But it's like one dude is like actually like smart and like good looking, and the other dude is Donald Trump Jr.
Yeah, and just loves gold accents. Fucking wild. Well, I mean, I feel.
I wonder if she cheats on him.
I feel bad, man. Well, I'm gonna play this. So you watched the video of this Utah District 12 bitch doing her rap song. I'm just gonna play it and we can talk over it. It's only a minute, so we can just run it for the viewers. But it's fucking absurd, and only in Utah, man.
And I could potentially play it on my phone and put it up to the speaker.
For the Senate this year. My name is Linda Paulson.
Is that too janky?
Awesome. Love God and family
No,
and
it's
the
not.
Constitution. I tried to get it.
You know what? We'll have to figure that out.
Nobody could do it, so I'm getting it done. I'm pro-religious freedom, pro-life, pro-police, the right to bear arms, and the right to free speech. I want less government.
Utah District 12, listen up right here. There's a new name on the ballot for the Senate this year. My name is Linda Paulson, Republican and awesome. Love God and family and the Constitution. I tried to get another conservative to run. Nobody could do it, so I'm getting it done. I'm pro-religious freedom, pro-life, pro-police, the right to bear arms, and the right to free speech. I want less government control and regulation, want to stop and expose all political corruption with integrity, morality,
that's some bars right there.
Accountability. Government programs should lead to self-sufficiency and support
That's
traditional
good rhyming.
family as the fundamental unit of society. But in schools, they're pushing for new beliefs. And just to clarify this, because there's some who can't define this, as a female adult, I know what a woman is.
It's a female adult. I know what a woman is.
I think she's lying.
Dude, that's like
She doesn't know.
That's some of the.
Why did she bring on our girl Katanji? Like just
right? Like, why are you taking shots, bro? What's that about?
She didn't even say anything about her. She's just like, yo, black judge.
Yeah, you just showed her like black woman with dreads. I know what a woman is. Dab on you, bitch. I'm gonna dab on you.
She dabbed you to this.
Yeah, I don't even. Oh, well, I don't know. It turned into something that was like.
Turned into like a Heil Hitler.
I think that's how like boomers think that what a dab is. That's why their kids are high all the time. Like, I'm gonna go do some dads, and their dads are like, all right, yeah, go get it, then. Let's. Whoa, you get them, Braden Lee, James Johnson, Mick Johnson pants. No, there's
Why do you gotta bring the mix into this?
Oh, I don't know. Just throwing names out there. What is it? There's a license plate where I was behind somebody who didn't know how to drive, and it was like Breland Jamie or something. I was like, you can't put that many fucking things on your license plate. How much did you pay for the extra long name with like 7 Ys? I'm not even like.
I had a triple OG, double OG, triple OG guy.
That's a lot of OGs, man.
Yeah, he was tight.
His street credit score has got to be like 820, dude.
At least. He went to Cornell and then got his MBA at Columbia. Big time financial dude. He gave like a little bit of a speech today for like an hour, and his name is De Winter, and the DE is lowercase and separated, and then it's Winter.
See, but there's a lot of names like that, like Smoke Monday. Like I played corner at Auburn. Then there's DeColdis.
First name?
Yeah, no, there's a guy who's his name. Yeah, his first name's Smoke. His first name is Smoke, and his last name's Monday. So
I don't understand the lowercase DE space Winter. Like I would think it would be attached.
Well,
so
yeah,
like
that is weird that it's not attached. But there's DeColdis Crawford, and he plays for Nebraska, and he does all of his NIL deals or HVAC stuff.
Well, I'm looking at the schedule, and it says Winter, so and so is going to be speaking, and I told him straight up in front of the entire class that they spelled his name wrong because he said his name was DeWinter, and I was like, "Oh, they just called you Winter on the schedule." He's like, really? I'm like, yeah, he like been working there for like 10 years.
He's like, motherfuckers.
He's like, they still fucking that shit
They
up.
were whitewashing him the whole time.
And then
like, ooh, Winter. I wonder if he's albino and pale. And
well,
like,
when he was done, I went back and looked at it, and it was like, yeah, this tiny little DE, like spaced out, like in the corner from Winter, was actually on there. And I'm like, well, they still fucked it up. And then I saw where he wrote his name on the board, and then and it was exactly like that.
Yeah.
So they didn't fuck it up. It was just, I've never seen anything like that.
There's this guy. He's a receiver. There's two brothers. They're both receivers. One plays for the Bears. One plays for the Lions. And his name is
Brown?
Yeah, but his name is Amon Ra, which is like, I used to play this computer game called Laura Bow and the Dagger of Amon Ra. Like Amon, that's like an Egyptian name, like an Egyptian pharaoh name. That's such a weird fucking name to me. Amon Ra St. Brown.
Yeah, well, his brother's name was Equanimous.
Yeah.
I drafted him as a rookie in my League of Dorks, like keeper league.
Yeah.
Yeah, drafted him in the 4th round, like rookies only, and then I had to cut him because he never did anything, and now he's actually starting to ball a little bit.
Yeah, balling out. But
yeah, their dad is like. Did you see the Hard Knocks?
No, I didn't watch Hard Knocks because we played him first, so I didn't want to feel sympathetic to him.
Yeah, I respect that.
Yeah,
but he was on there. But their dad is like has won like first place in like the world's strongest man or whatever the fuck that like bodybuilding. Like he's like dominated. So and now he's like 60 and just like crushing,
yoked the fuck out.
So they had both of them in there, like the gym with the dad, and he's just like. And those dudes are like really built, like they're like a brick shit house.
Oh yeah, it's just the name. When it was like Amon Ra, I was like, what?
Well, I always thought Equanimous was like too skinny, but he's not.
No, they're pretty stacked.
Yeah.
This last clip, I'm just gonna play. We can talk over it. It's I've somebody talked to me about this, and it's like a rumor, but they're saying that kids are going to school as furries and they're dressing up and they're making them put litter boxes in classrooms or in the hallway. I've also heard that teachers that teachers that are furries are using the bathroom in front of kids at school because they're demanding that litter boxes be put in their classrooms. And so these guys, they're called the Good Liars. I think I've played a clip from them before. These guys are fantastic. They go out and interview people. They go to these rallies. They're really good at coming off as pretty neutral and like shocked at some of the stuff that they've talked to people about. So they were in Dallas for the JFK Jr. coming back to life and shit. So they go to these rallies and they interviewed this guy in a button-up We the People shirt with an eagle like flying through a American flag with a black hole on it. And this guy is talking about how kids are coming to school dressed as cats with collars and leashes and ears. Now, I'm sure there's kids that do that, but I think that's just, I don't think it's like as what this guy's talking about.
Coming in dressed up as cats with collars and leashes on, and
what'd you think about this guy? Have you heard this before?
To have litter boxes.
Well, I was wondering, should I play it?
That's incredible. And you
for the audio or just let you play it on the video?
Oh, I mean, you can play the audio. That's fine. Because I can mute it and run the video. It's fine. We'll figure it out. Patience, everyone.
Coming in dressed up as cats with collars and leashes on and ears, and supposed to have litter boxes in the restrooms.
That's incredible. And you've seen this?
I have not personally seen it,
Of
but
course not.
I know people that are involved with the schools.
You haven't personally seen
I
it?
haven't personally seen it, no.
Okay. That sounds... That's...
I don't know what happened.
Oh, it's all good. Well, yeah, he's just talking about how he's like, have you seen this? And he's like, well, no.
No, but if you talk to the students,
I'm playing it right now on the yeah, he says if you talk to the students, but that's where I think that kids are just trolling these fucking boomers, man.
With, the schools.
You haven't personally seen it.
Yeah. I also heard like furries.
That's
there's that like because they're just like awkward socially and they're actually like not like really creepers.
You talk to the students and they said
yeah,
they
but
saw?
there's
that's what Channel 5 told me.
Some friends of ours, their
or
kids,
all gas no brakes, one or the other.
Sorry, they saw students dressed as cats,
yes,
and that they said that there had to be litter boxes in the high schools.
Kids
In the
dressed as
bathrooms, They have
cats.
to have litter boxes.
In the bathrooms, they have to
Unbelievable.
believe.
It's almost. I can't even believe it.
That's the most ludicrous
Yeah,
shit. That's what I'm saying is I swear these kids are just trolling these parents. So their parents believe in all this other shit, and they're like, man, our parents are crazy QAnon people. And I think they're trolling the fuck out of them to see, because some of these people hear something. Like, if you came up to me and said, yo,
Are
bro.
you saying it's not true?
No, I don't believe that there's litter boxes in high schools across the country for kids to take pees in.
I don't believe that either, but you believe people like are actually trying to get them.
No, I think that people are telling their parents that because they're being hyperbolic and their parents are hyper reactionary. Like, that's what I'm saying is you can almost say anything to some of these people and they'll take it and run with it. They think that JFK Jr. was still alive.
I mean,
I'm sorry.
They never found his body. Dude.
I was like 6. Nah, dude, that bro dead.
We were not 6. We were older.
Yeah, okay. I
remember when it happened.
Well, I remember, but I was old enough to know that dude's dead.
His plane just
30
gone.
For now.
Bermuda Triangle, bro.
It wasn't the Bermuda Triangle. He was nowhere near.
That's what I remember.
Get out of here.
I swear to God, I thought that was what it was.
No, he didn't die in the Bermuda Triangle.
I swear, that's exactly how I remember it.
I think he died I think he died flying to Martha's Vineyard.
That might be true.
I think that's where he was going, is he was flying to Martha's Vineyard.
That sounds right.
Yeah.
Yeah. He was trying to get ahead of those immigrants.
Yeah, trying to beat Ron DeSantis to the punch.
Fuck you, DeSantis.
He's like, I got an idea that
conspiracy.
Yeah, that's true. Dude, be careful, man, because
DeSantis, JFK Jr. was alive. DeSantis killed him in the planes with the immigrants.
I'd be careful, man. There's gonna be you'll have some guy in a Ben Franklin shirt who's like getting a butt plug from Susan B. Anthony that says like freedom fighter, and that dude's gonna take that shit and run with it. And
I'm more of a Betsy Ross kind of guy, but you know,
it's gonna go off on someone and be like, hey man, did you hear what they're doing? You gotta be careful with that, dude. I'm telling you that. I swear these people they're trolling people, just like with Trump when they bought all those tickets or whatever to his rally, and then nobody showed up because a bunch of kids bought all that shit and just trolled the fuck out of him, and then he's like, I gotta get rid of TikTok.
Well, I'm just saying you can't spell devil or Satan without DeSantis. Just facts. You need those letters.
It's pretty good. I might use that.
We only tell the truth here on the podcast.
That's true.
That is a fact.
Nothing but truth. We try to. We try. We have our moments.
That's right.
Yeah.
All you need in that devil and Satan equation is a V.
That's true. Get out of here. Stop. On that note, episode 57. Do you have anything, sir? No? Are you done?
I'm done.
All right. Well, yeah, that's 57, you guys. Good time. 2 traffickers. 1 cup, because they're both pieces of shit, and they belong in 1 cup together, and Donald Trump can eat that poop.
Or that poo.
No. I don't think he is. I think Melania is like, get away from me. I think she wants nothing to do with them. I think Donald's cut off, dude. Because like when on these unhinged,
they have a separate room.
Yeah, she was living like a chunk of the last portion of his term in New York when he was in DC.
The beginning of the term.
Yeah, and
and she said it was because I didn't want Barron to change schools. And it was like, no, you're like working on the prenup, and nobody wants to sleep to that next to that hideous.
Yeah, what are you talking about? Like he goes to class in like that gold room that's attached to like with the looking glass.
I would like to find out who the dude is who's having sex with Melania Trump, who's not Donald Trump.
There's someone.
There's got to be for sure, at least one. But I mean, what is that like? Like, are you worried that you're gonna get caught? Do you not give a fuck? Like, it's some ballsy shit.
Yeah, that's a move, man. But I think at the end of the day, he probably knows about it. He's like, look, you need to stick with me. Whenever this is all done and I'm president of the world, you can have all of your homeland. I'll give it back to you.
Do you think he's having sex with people?
He was banging Stormy Daniels.
But I mean, since he became president.
Yeah, I think he's been doing something skizzy.
Very, very risky, dude.
Yeah, no, but I could easily see him being like, I don't want Bill Clinton's the only one who can get a beach in the Oval Office. I could easily, he's so competitive in everything that he would have to one up everybody. He's a piece of shit, dude.
If we're going to all agree that he doesn't drink, which I think is debatable, because if he says he doesn't do that, he probably does it, because that's how much he lies. You can't like trust anything. Plus, just look at how he behaves.
Yeah.
Like, you would hope he was drunk. But if he can like just abstain from something like that, like a vice like that, maybe he can abstain from having sex.
I think that's like one vice of all the creepy
I just
shit
don't. You
that
think,
dude does.
You don't think you would have heard something? Like, we found out about Stormy.
Well, maybe not now. Okay, so since he became president, okay, maybe
That's what I'm
not.
saying.
He's not as appealing as he once was.
It's not as crazy to think that he hasn't had sex in like 5 years.
But I could easily.
He's
see
like also
some
like
weird,
almost 80 years old.
Some weird like cult people, some cult boomer being like, "Oh, Donald," because they look at him so fawningly.
I don't doubt that. Yeah, I don't doubt.
If he did, it's with
like,
someone like normal.
Like Marjorie Taylor Greene probably wants to fuck Donald Trump for all we know. And there's people out there who would fuck Donald Trump, unfortunately for them and him and us, for even having to talk about it.
Facts.
But that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying, has he actually gone through with it? And another good question would be, have him and Melania had sex since he became president?
Probably not.
Did they consummate the White House?
Oh.
It's gross. Think about it's gross. I know. All right, close this up.
Yeah, well, that's episode 57, you guys. We appreciate y'all listening. I'll be back tomorrow, and Andy will be on as well for the Angry Black Quarterback, episode 3. It sounds like he lost some money, and I'm pretty sure my nephew lost some of my fucking money, but it's all good. I still love him. It's for the love of the game.
No, he did have some. He had some that definitely came in. I just don't know what his distribution of the cash was. So.
Yeah.
I don't know if he was doing a unit or 2 units on each one, like evenly, but he had the under, not to spoiler alert, but they'll give you a little teaser. He had the under Chargers Chiefs first half.
Yeah, he got that one right. I noticed that.
Yeah. So it just depends on how much cheddar he spread on that.
Well, I tried to get him to up the cheddar.
I know, but you kind of said it in a blanket way. Like, if he did the $200 on my bet, then that was not good.
Yeah.
So you have to find out.
Yeah, that's true. Touche. All right. Well, you guys be good. Stay out of trouble. Yeah, check us out tomorrow. Honestly, we really appreciate the views. We've been picking up subs. Everybody's been super great. So make sure you hit him up on Instagram, me on Instagram. Follow, subscribe, what the fuck ever. Either way, thanks for listening. Everybody go fuck yourselves. You got to say the shout out.
Shout out.
Thank you.
Recording stopped.